And then the Trailblazer kind of relaxed that. And I got to like, enjoy functionality and go fast. And that was an 06 SS rear wheel drive. That thing was a boss. And even in the snow, it was a boss, so long as I could get momentum. Coming from a stop or moving from a stop, that was kind of a problem. But so long as I could get that momentum going, I was golden. And
now you had headers and a higher stall converter.
Yeah, that had a built tranny and some bolt-ons.
Full exhaust on it. Sounded great.
Right.
Now your problem was with just regular traffic with your converter, right?
Yeah. Because I'm an idiot and young and naive, I picked a way too big of a converter to go in it. Now, fortunately, when it locked and the external cooler that I didn't route through the radiator, like let me get on a different rant, all right? Some people run...
Are you going to pontificate?
Yeah,
since
because...
we used that word earlier.
Because some people run... I don't understand why you want to run an external cooler through the normal tranny cooler. Like, people do this. It's a thing. Even factory. Now, factory does it for other reasons. But, like, if you're just going to race mod, why are you having it go through two coolers? Like, if you're trying to cool your tranny temp down, why are you going through the radiator again? Like, it does not make sense. Anyways. But, like, once the converter was locked, it'd be fine. I drove from here in Central Ohio back to DC area in like the middle of winter, and that poor tranny temp didn't get any hotter than like 120. And normally they run like 180-ish, 160-ish, a normal like drive cycle. Like I know on GMs, one time I got it real hot, like scary hot. Princess and I were in DC. And we just happened to come up on like a cammed Vet and a cammed Camaro. And this is like coming out of DC, Northern Virginia, like super bougie area. Like, I'm not entirely sure where we were. I just know it was Northern Virginia and I know it was bougie town, like Georgetown type, fancy. So I'm like, screw it. Let's follow these guys. See where it goes. And I'm hauling it. That poor transmission. Like, it got up to, I want to say, like, it got up to, like, 260, 270. And then it cooled down. And then the scariest, it got hot, let it cool, like that one time in Virginia. But when I was moving back here for the second time, I had the Blazer, which runs on, like, 7.5 cylinders and can barely carry its own fat butt up a mountain. Dad was driving that. I had a U-Haul with the trailer hitch because the Trailblazer had that, and it wasn't like a ton amount that it needed to haul. But again, the converter. So my whole goal was to just keep the converter locked. And there's a certain section on 68 through the mountains in the Panhandle of Maryland that you go through Cumberland, and Cumberland is in the valley on 68. And you come out of Cumberland going west, and you literally come out of Cumberland up the mountain.
You're talking about that 2-lane section?
Yep.
Yeah.
You come up the mountain. And I was doing good up until somebody cut me off and I had to let off the gas and the converter unlocked. And so that sucker got like 290. Like, I had to pull over. Like, I couldn't. And I was so close to the top. And it was like 290. I'm like, oh my God, I'm melting things on the inside, right? Like, things are going to be bad, right? And then, like, because the Trailblazer is farcely superior than the Blazer is, right? This old turd. There goes my dad. I'm pulled over on the side of the mountain. There goes Dad going up the hill. I could hear this thing, like, turding, like, just farting up this mountain, right? Like, I get a call from Dad. He's like, what are you doing? It's like, my tranny got hot. I was like, so I got to take a break. So I get over it, 160 the rest of the way. I had the converter locked the entire way back into Columbus, 160, and never had a problem with it.
But for people who don't know, 68 is super steep in some places, specifically that hill.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah, people
windy.
from the Panhandle,
It is steep.
Maryland area will know what I'm talking about.
But real quick, now that I'm thinking about overheating transmissions, it reminds me of a good time in all three of our lives for a certain bachelor party
Oh no.
where we're going up the mountain in West Virginia and somebody's truck keeps overheating and they have to keep stopping every 5 to 10 miles.
Who was that?
He was pulling a trailer. Who was that? It wasn't.
It wasn't Daniel's truck. Oh, was that Shaw's truck? No, it wasn't Shaw's truck.
I just remember we had to keep stopping, and I cannot remember what it was for.
What truck was it? Because there was.
I want to say it was Daniel's because he was pulling that big trailer, and right when you get almost to the top of the mountain, there's some really sharp switchbacks, and I want to say we had to stop right there.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I barely remember anything from that trip.
Right?
I think all of the drinks.
You remember
All
getting
of the
pulled over on the
beverages.
way there, though? We're going down. I don't even know. We're like on 23, somewhere in southern
Oh
Ohio.
no, that's when you and I went.
Right.
So we were in the Blazer.
You're right.
We got pulled over. It was on
Yeah.
23. We were going down. We had like just gotten into West Virginia.
it was southern Ohio. It was still in Ohio, but
it was still
deep
southern Ohio.
Southern
but
Ohio.
We were on the drug trail
Yeah.
driving
The
an
drug
old
enforcement.
Blazer.
And my dumbass is like,
You were only like 5 or 6 over.
yeah.
But it was just enough that the cop was like, "Oh, what's this old Blazer doing? I'll
Right.
bet you that's a meth head."
So he asked me
pulls
where
his-
I was going, and I gave the classic answer of, I don't know.
So of course, I
remember
had to
him-
answer for him. I was like,
Yeah.
"We're going to Crumpler Mountain Resort down in West Virginia. We're going camping for the weekend. We're going to ride some ATVs." And then when I was talking, he saw my little Crown bag with vape stuff in it. He's like, "I need to see what's inside that." I
Yep.
was like, "Why do you need to see what's inside that?" He's like, "Because that's what people carry drugs in." I was like, "Well, I've got stuff in it, but they're not drugs."
Right.
So I had to open up my little Crown bag. He had to like look in the floor of the Like,
You're
I
a
had to
common
open
criminal.
Right.
yeah, I had to open up the door. He had to like look in there. Now we could have said, you're not going to be allowed to look in. But
Oh, if it was our
like-
buddy, we would still be there. If,
Oh, yeah,
Scott,
dude.
If Scott was in that truck with us, we would still be there.
oh yeah, because he
That's-
would have been. Because the first thing I'm just going to acquiesce to the cop.
I mean,
yeah, I understand this truck looks a little bit suspect. We've got crap piled to the ceiling in the back of it. It's two dudes driving, down into West Virginia looking like we're on a drug run. Then he pulls us over and sees my little green Crown Apple bag with the vape juice and whatever else I need to have for the weekend. Of course I didn't know this, but apparently everybody carries weed in those things. So
yeah, my answers were not sufficient.
no, so I
Hey,
started
where are
being
you
the one
going?
to do the talking.
I don't know. Somewhere in West Virginia. That's basically. I don't
Dude,
know.
that's
I'm
right.
just going that way.
I'm going south to
Right.
southeast,
Right.
and that's all I know.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
basically we're talking about the first trip. Now we're talking about the
Because
second trip.
we took the Titan, your dad's Titan, right?
Yeah, we went. It was you, me, and Richard. We went in the Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember a couple segments of driving back home, and I remember having to back up the trailer for a quarter mile
Yes.
on our way down
Oh,
there.
That's what I was literally getting ready to say. There was a road, and then we got to the end, and it was blocked off by cars piled in the road, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And we had to back a quarter mile
on the
past
side of a cliff.
Yes.
with very small margins of error.
Yes.
And everybody started turning on their porch lights as we're backing up out of here.
Well, yeah, because
Yes.
of course
we got lost. That's right.
course-
I forgot about that.
Of course, the Titan's not just a normal Titan. It's got a dual Magnaflow exhaust
Right.
on it. So all you hear,
We're in the middle of coal country.
We're in the middle of coal country. It's a
Just-
freaking gravel road on
Your
the side of a
shotguns
mountain.
load up just
Yeah.
as we're trying to back out of this winding.
And then all you hear is this blah, 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 idle.
yeah.
Oh,
I just remember Fatty Patty on the back of the ATV when we were trail riding.
that was a good time. And going through the tunnel, I will
Yes.
never RIP Fatty Patty and that Chinese buffet we ate at.
Oh my god.
Oh, that
I
place
was
is great.
I was just amazed that there was a Chinese restaurant in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia.
Oh,
That was
so
good.
good. It was so good.
Right.
It's funny, those little things you remember. Maybe on a future podcast, we can relive the glory that was that trip
From what we recall.
in more detail, and probably still leave some out just for the safety of your ears.
From what we
Right.
recall, people got lost.
Yep.
I had a giant bruise on my hip, not from any riding accident, but from escapades.
I did also get to watch him fly off of his ATV coming around a turn, and he gets up and says, "What happened?" "Now I'm fine." Gets back on it, and we keep going.
Stuff like that happens every
I
trip
feel like
down there,
there
though,
was
because
a-
we went and put that 100 miles on my brand new YZ250 with Dan. Well,
Yeah.
you weren't on that trip, but now I've got the crooked finger because I'm doing a hill climb down there, and they've got a drainage pipe that's off centered. So if it would have been straight across like a look when I was on the hill climb, I'd have booped right over it. But as soon front tire hit it, got off kilter, back tire hit it, and the bike goes this way, I go that way, and then I come up and like my hands all crumpled.
That, and then Clarence ate it. I regret not. I was working. I couldn't make it on that trip, but I'd have loved to have been on that.
It was fun. I will say, it was a fun trip. Except when you realize the name of the trail was called Rock House, is it not going to be a fun trail for bikes?
Speaking of which, I'm gonna try and procure that dirt bike from Clarence.
What, the KLX?
Yeah, 250. I mean,
I thought it was a 300.
No, you're right. It is 300. But I'm big man, but I feel like that's still enough to get me around.
Oh yeah, there'd be no. I mean,
and not kill myself.
you could still do it on a KLX 300. You could.